And good morning. Welcome to Sports Talk. Glad to have you with us on a beautiful Saturday morning. Blue sky. Hot temperatures await you.
Indeed they do.
As you walk out. High humidity. What else would you want?
I tell you, this past week, the last 2 weeks have been.
Well, in the next 4 days, 3-4 days, may be the hottest stretch so far. Yeah. Supposed to get a break about Wednesday or Thursday. Some storms coming through and maybe cool it back down. But, you know, I thought it was supposed to really be a nice break, but I think I saw next Friday 88. Obviously humid.
Oh, yeah.
But, 96, I think, a couple days this week. So, yep, makes it tough. I know several teams this week didn't do the old-fashioned 3:30 practice. They wound up doing later, either 5.
So a lot of cramping in the
9.
game I went to last night.
Well, you know what? We go through it every single year.
Every year.
We
know what it's like.
First 4 weeks.
First 4 weeks
so
are pretty torturous.
Nasty, as they say.
Yep.
You know, a lot of high school football to talk about. Mike has informed me, man, blockbuster schedule on the college front today.
I'm telling you, I'm just bowled over. I'm looking at it.
You know
start
what?
off with Nebraska, Illinois, then you got UConn, Fresno State, Hawaii versus UCLA, UTEP versus New Mexico State, and Southern Utah versus San Jose State. Do you know the way to San Jose?
West.
I'm sure you remember the old song by Dion Wood.
I'm not going by plane because if you watch the news at all this week, there's likely to be a fight on a plane.
And if you go west, the air quality is so bad due to wildfires.
Don't really want to drive 5 days.
No.
So don't think I'll be going anytime soon.
No.
Although, now you have to help me here. I may have it mixed up with another San Jose. Is that northern?
San Jose is near San Fran.
Yeah, I'd take it.
Yeah. Do you know the way to San Jose?
Because San Francisco's basically having their winter this time of year.
Yeah.
So chilly nights.
Yeah.
Windy days, San Francisco. So
it can be 100.
Yeah, it is.
It could be 100 in L.A., but it's still going to be 65 in San Fran because of the unique geography.
Mike gave the college schedule, just a little bit of tidbit of information on high school. Don't forget I schedule some games today that says, let's see, make sure I am on today, and it says today. It says missing score, that's what got me confused, but Rolesville, down in the Raleigh area, Rolesville and East Forsyth, which should be a very good matchup if you look at what those two teams have accomplished in the last 5 years or so. I think both have state championships under their belt, right, Brad, or at least played for them. I know East Forsyth has won a couple. We watched them win one a year or two ago. And Rolesville, is when the high schools split, Wake Forest and Rolesville.
When I hear Rolesville, I still go back to the old days, Wake Forest hyphen Rolesville.
It ain't been that long. Yeah. But what's weird is they split, and they've still both been very good.
Both been good. Wake Forest has been great. Excellent. Yeah.
They have. But that one says missing score, so I'm assuming it's today. You got Brett's going to tell me in a little bit where this is going to be played. The doubleheader going on today. Chambers and Highland Springs, and I do not know where Highland Springs is from, but that's a 3 o'clock start. Of course, Julius Chambers, the former Vance High School. Also, Northwest Guilford and North Davidson. Both teams 0-1, looking for their first win. Carrboro and Graham. Richmond County and Butler. We were talking at the game I was at last night in the press box. Butler will play a schedule. You go back and look at them over the last 10 years.
Anybody like Florida State used to.
Yeah, I mean their first 3 or 4 games, non-conference games, is unbelievable who they play, and always competitive. At one time a powerhouse. They were really good about maybe 10, 15 years ago. But and still good, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it seems like the power shifts around in Mecklenburg County. But Butler and Richmond tonight at 7 o'clock, and don't know where that is, but if you're just looking for a game to go to, although if I'm going to the game that has a local team involved, 2 local teams actually, if you look at Gaston County. And that one would be East Lincoln taking on Forest View, at Kramer. What I understand, Forest View Stadium has been under construction for a year, 18 months, something like that. And,
yeah, at least.
Trying to
I don't think it's a doubleheader in
Okay.
Charlotte today. It looks like Chambers is playing at Highland Springs, which is in Richmond, Virginia.
so they're playing at 3 o'clock so they can get back home.
Well,
tonight.
it says it got moved to 5 o'clock due to the heat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to help. I don't know. 5 o'clock somewhere. So that one is in Virginia. What you say? You said is Highland Springs the name of the town?
Highland Springs.
Is the name
It
of the-
says, I think it says it's near Richmond,
Near
Virginia.
Richmond. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's that? 5.5, 6 hour drive from the Charlotte area, something like that. I don't know if they went up, spent the night or not. Probably not. Richmond and Butler says 7 o'clock. So since I'm going to guess that game's just at Butler then. Since we thought maybe it was a doubleheader with these four.
It says here
showcase
Memorial
teams.
Stadium.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know how that works. A lot of Mecklenburg teams play some of their bigger games at Memorial
Yeah.
Stadium, which seats
Guys,
many more
I know
fans.
Memorial Stadium's been renovated. I haven't seen it, though, in years. Have either of you been by there?
No,
You can catch it on WVTV for about 3 seconds.
3 seconds?
Yep.
Okay.
Kind of like football Friday night.
Yeah, I went to get something to drink, came back, and football Friday night was off. So
Yeah. Don't blink.
don't blink.
Don't blink. It's quick.
Remember when it was an hour? Think about it.
Yep. I absolutely remember when it was there. What do you think I am, Mike? That's just 2 years ago.
I know, yeah. Really, ever since the retirement of Little, right? No.
Delano, but it's
Delano
got
Little.
nothing to do with that.
No.
Nothing at all.
No,
to do with
no,
that.
I know.
You know what it's got. The initials are CBS.
CBS.
Yep.
Forces.
Yep. Just checking through a couple different things. We're definitely going to break down high school football. I thought some area teams really stood out last night, including Maiden with a huge win. Not that they won the game. I thought they would win the game, but the amount of points they won the game by and how dominant they were in that game kind of stood out to me somewhat. And there's some other teams I thought that we're going to see this year in some of the local conferences that, like with East Lincoln and North Lincoln now playing in that Western Foothills. I kind of have a new look on Statesville now because of I know they only wound up winning by 13, but they were up in that game 27-0
It's another one
over
I
South
blew
Iredale.
the roof on. Boy, I really dipped after a 9-1 start. God.
Oh, Mike, it's like I said. Remember my note at the bottom: 17 weeks of all
Yeah.
crap. Remember?
Yeah.
That's what you go through, and you know what? 1 week does not make or break.
I did too much analysis.
long,
I went on Max Prep, started looking at stats. And I should just go with my first.
If I look,
I should have picked States.
I never
Let's
look
put
at
it
a
that way.
stat. I can promise you.
Should have picked States. Yeah. I do regret.
I may
that
look
one.
at some scores.
Yeah.
But not. I don't even do much of that this early.
Yeah,
Because there's not a whole lot to base it on.
It is early.
And let's face it, for lack of a better term, there are a lot of gimme games in the.
The only thing I might
early
look at is I'll get on and see how they did last year against that same opponent.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep. And don't be giving all the secrets away, Brad. We don't want.
This competition.
Well, that's a pretty.
We're
pretty
battling
easy
out for
Common
a pot
sense.
of gold at the end of 17 weeks.
Yep.
Gee.
And I picked Maiden to beat. Watauga to beat Maiden, and they
Yep.
lost by
lot.
almost 50.
Yep. What
did
did the final
too.
wind up? Was it 42?
I thought the last couple of
49.
years Watauga had been really good.
I know.
Yep. And it just won the week before 33-0.
33
Yeah.
nothing. That's what I was going on.
We're gonna plenty to talk about. We're winding. This is the final week, of NFL preseason. It's laid out a little different this year. We'll have a weekend here of preseason football.
Would you guys both
Panthers
agree
won
that
last night.
preseason is pretty much garbage in the NFL? I mean, it tends to be more and more so every year.
If you would have asked me 40 years ago, I would have said yes. If you asked me today, I'll say yes.
Yes,
It's not changed.
not changed.
The only thing it is they can use it to evaluate maybe 5 spots.
It's definitely not
Okay.
fun to watch on TV.
No, it's not. I mean, let's say it, the TV product is not good.
I always
You get all hipped up in late
That's it.
August,
But
And
I always sit down thinking this is going to be good. I'm
I'd
going
be
to watch
too.
this. I want to see what these guys do. And then 10 minutes into it, and
I'm
I'm not
done.
talking about 10 game minutes either. I'm talking about 10
me too.
total
I'm
minutes.
done. I'm like
like,
you. Boy, the Patriots are playing tonight. Cowboy Monday Night Football, and 15 minutes in, what?
well, this season, I mean, teams are starting to figure out now that if you are settled on a quarterback and you have a
You
good
ain't
quarterback,
playing
you
him.
don't need to play
don't
him in the
play
preseason. You just can't take that chance that he gets a season-ending injury, because it happens every year to somebody.
Yes.
And, we've already had a few at different positions, but I'm not putting my quarterback out there. If I'm looking at Russell Wilson here, so I'll use him as an example, but if I've got Russell Wilson and I've got Patrick Mahomes or I got Aaron Rodgers, and I can name you 12, they're not going on the field. There's no use. They know what they're doing. If you want to have reps with those receivers that haven't been in it, you just do that in practice when there's no contact.
And we maybe got two races about quarterbacks. New England is one, and I'm trying to think of the other right now.
New England may have one right now, but I say by week 3 it's Jones.
It's Jones by week 3. Okay.
That's just my opinion.
San Francisco seems to have one.
Of
Jimmy
course.
Garoppolo has looked
It may be
bad.
by week 1 because didn't Cam break protocol on
Yeah.
the COVID guidelines?
Why can't he get that straight? And another thing, how about Lamar Jackson? Why can't he get things straight on COVID? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The greatest thing I saw last week was the new, not the greatest thing, but the funniest thing was the news that did I come off and not bring my phone? Because I'm going to need that thing. The news.
Oh, wait. You mean we can't get our text from our guys?
It's behind your computer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't see over there.
It is.
Where was I going? What was I doing?
I don't know.
Cam Newton.
You said something
Yeah.
about Cam Newton, man. Lost your train.
Rob Lowe. What'd you say?
Rob Lowe. St. Elmo's Fire.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I don't know where we're going, but it's come down to starting quarterbacks, who needs to start, who don't. If I got a guy in there, I'm not worried about it. We're talking about Newton. We're talking about Jones. Who else? You said there's a couple. Who else do you think?
Well, I
is
mentioned San Francisco.
unsettled? Garoppolo and okay.
And is there a third?
Rob Lowe, yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. Just my opinion. Garoppolo's injured by week 3, and
Yeah.
Trey Lance is
Trey Lance is the face. Is going to be
Yes.
the new face of the franchise. So.
and I'm not so sure he's not the better one right now.
I think so.
And I hate to say this, but he just to look at him beside Garoppolo, he looks a lot less fragile. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
big tough
You
guy.
see-
Looks like he can handle it. And,
Yeah. Physically, he reminds you a little bit of Kaepernick. I mean, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", can run, pretty athletic.
It says Panthers hand Haskins a lesson in the tough finale. That was last night's Panther win, 21-3. Is that what it
It was
wound up?
31 to something.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. I must have saw a score that was
Yeah.
not complete at the time.
But pretty good performance by the Panthers. I mean, that's an exhibition game. I don't know.
Brett, tell me who this is. Grandal. Grandal return. 2 home runs, 8 RBIs.
Oh, that's the
last
White
night.
Sox,
Yeah, I see.
catcher.
Okay, he's a catcher.
Yeah.
And that was I wanted to put that one on the football scoreboard instead of the baseball scoreboard.
17-13.
How about that? The Battle of Chicago goes to the White Sox. I'm amazed. Who do the Cubs have that can score 13 runs?
They scored 6 in the first. They were up 6-0, and that didn't last long.
Yeah, it looks like a softball score. And I just wonder. Makes me wonder who do they have left that can produce runs?
Boy, how about this race between the Giants and the Dodgers? Brett versus me. This
gonna
is
get right to the
incredible.
They both lost last night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Braves beat the Giants. Who beat the Dodgers?
Rockies.
Rockies.
I mean, the Giants have won 8 out of 10, but the Dodgers have won 9 out of 10. I mean,
Well, you know what? I mean, they're both good enough to continue doing that. It's just going to be that kind of race down to the end.
Yeah.
It really is.
Over the last 2 weeks, I think they both played the Mets
Yeah.
7 times, and both teams won 6 out of 7
6 out
against
of
the
7
Mets.
against the poor Mets. Yeah.
Mets are loving it. Mets fans are loving it.
Yeah, they're
Yankee
just-
fans are
Mets
really
are
loving it.
fading away.
The New York mess, as the Post likes to say, right, Mike? The New York
Yeah,
mess.
that would be a good one for the Post. The New York mess.
Oh, I think they've used it
They've
before.
used it before,
I think
yeah.
I've seen it in there a time or two.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball. While you guys are on the subject, last night the Red Sox beat the Indians 4-3. The Phillies over the D-backs 7-6. Cardinals over the Pirates 4-3. Tampa. No love, not a lot of publicity, not a lot of hype. Already at 80 wins, they just keep winning baseball games. Tampa 6-3 last night over the Orioles. Don't get me wrong, I know it's the Orioles, okay? But didn't the Orioles score like in the teens twice this week? Didn't they put up a lot of runs in a couple different games?
Broke the streak.
Yeah, they finally did end their losing streak. That
From
was
19. Wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, and that's not their longest losing streak in their history either. The one to begin the season some 20 years ago or so was
Somewhere
like 21.
Blue Powell
right?
was crying in his grave.
Is that right? Relative.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Reds beat the Marlins 6-0. Tigers over the Blue Jays 2-1. The Nats beat the Mets. The Mets continue their slide. 6 games under 500 now are the Mets. 2-1 Nationals last night. Braves edged the Dodgers edged the Giants 6-5. Astros over the Rangers 5-4. That big battle in Chicago. More runs than hits. White Sox 17, Cubs 13. There were 28 hits and 30 runs.
Anybody get a running time on that game? I gotta see if I can find it.
They're
4 hours and 9 minutes.
Walking
4
off the
hours,
field
9
right now.
minutes. Oh,
Really not that bad for.
not that bad for 30
I
runs.
know, yeah.
I was thinking 5 hours.
Yeah, or at least close.
Yeah.
The Twins 2, the Brewers nothing. Padres over the Angels 5-0. Yankees, what's this now at? 13 in a row? Where are they at in their streak? 8-2 last night over the A's. 14 hits for the Yankees.
Yep, 13 in a row.
I'm starting to. Y'all guys aren't going to like it. I'm starting to think they're going to be your next world champions. With the pickups they made at the deadline. It's not going to be their hitting if they don't get there. But what's happened here, and that the pitching has stepped it up too, and their pitching is starting to perform a lot better than it did in the first half of the season. And if they continue to get really good pitching, they're just going to be hard to beat because they have 12 guys on the roster. I told Brett they got 12 guys on the roster that can beat you in the 8th or 9th inning with a 3-run homer. They just have that much power on that squad.
Yeah.
And, it can be cruising right along, and all of a sudden that 3-run homer, boom, and guess what? You're left with a defeat.
Yeah. But you look at what the Dodgers picked up and what they have now. This may be
They're good.
This is one of the best rosters in the
Yep.
last 10, 20 years.
Yep. A man named Max.
Yeah.
They need to get Kershaw back
he
because
could-
they still have 2 bullpen games in their 5-man rotation right now. They've still been winning a lot of those bullpen games, but it's
Is Scherzer as dominant as
since
ever.
he came to the Dodgers, he's been
Yeah, that's what I
great.
thought.
Yeah, like a 150 ERA.
Yeah.
Won every game he started.
And I know this even goes back further, but tell me, you probably know how this player has played, but Pujols, who was really struggling when he went to the Dodgers.
He's played pretty well.
That's what I thought.
Now that they've got all their offense back healthy, he's not starting but 1 out of every 5 games maybe.
Right.
He's not playing
Right.
a lot. He's going to be a pinch hitter in the playoffs. He's
Hey,
not going to have a starting
that's
spot.
pretty good bat.
Yeah.
Pretty good
Come in.
pinch hitting.
Yeah, yes,
bat
it
there.
is. Somebody you're able to go to in the 8th or 9th inning.
Then I don't know if
When you
Cody
need a bomb.
Bellinger is going to be starting a lot of games in the play. I mean, he's hitting like 170. I don't know how you keep him in there with.
Did you watch the game the other night? I think it might have been Thursday night when they get the 4 guys that sit in
Yeah,
the studio.
yeah, that was
I
awesome.
love it. Have you
Yeah,
ever seen
that
that?
was really
Mike,
good.
You got MLB, Mike?
I do.
Do you?
It's
I wasn't
called
sure
the
with that.
Clubhouse.
Yeah, I do.
That $3 a month television.
Clubhouse edition or something like that.
But Sabathia is great in there.
It was him, Pedro,
Yeah, Pedro's great.
Mike Cameron for a while,
Mike Cameron, yeah.
and
He aged a little bit, hadn't he? Or is that just my television?
well, he's got a son playing now. Who was the other? Chris Young? Is that his name?
I think it was.
And then there's like
I
a
think it was,
host,
Yeah.
a guy that didn't play in the majors.
Yeah, he does a good
But
job.
it is
too.
it's really good.
It is. If you've never watched that and watched them, I don't know how you'd find out when they do those.
Well,
But
it was
it's really
on,
good to hear their perspective on what's going on.
It was on
and
Thursday,
explain
so I don't know if
things.
they do it every Thursday or
Yeah.
not. But it was called the Dugout or the Clubhouse edition or something.
Yeah, I also think that you get a different perspective. I think like we've talked about, the Manning is going to be doing that kind of like that. It's going to be kind of similar because they're serious. They talk about stuff, but they also joke a lot, and it's
Yeah. Well,
real
both
light.
those Mannings have a flair for humor. We've seen it on the commercials they did together for years, and then Peyton is really coming to
Yeah,
his
but they can
own.
give you a lot of good insight
Oh,
too
yeah.
that you wouldn't get from
Yeah.
just.
Now their thing is going to be on.
I don't know, ESPN.
ESPN.
One of them. They're gonna. I don't know. Just different. I don't know. I don't know how to tell you that. Lenny says, and they get Corey Kluber back possibly Monday. Talking about the Yankees. So, yeah, think about that. I mean, I'll tell you this way. Here's what I think about Major League Baseball right now. There are at least 4 teams that will be major disappointed if they don't win the World Series, right? Giants, Dodgers, Yankees, Tampa. I mean, there are other teams in there that could play spoiler maybe for a series, like Milwaukee, Atlanta, Padres, that one-game scenario. Somebody's going to play the Dodgers or Giants. We talked about that last week in that one game. You don't know what might happen in one game. But I think some of those teams play spoiler, but they can't win it yet. I don't even think the White Sox can win it.
Front office of the Padres will be really disappointed if they don't win it because they made a lot of moves to put their team together. And they've had a lot of injuries, but their roster is as good as anybody, or you would think it is just by looking at it.
Yeah.
We got 2 wild cards.
I think the White Sox, however, are a team of the future. I mean, I think they're going to be they're built to be good for a long time, as long as they don't trade everybody.
I think they
away.
can win it this year. I think they're good enough. I'd take them over Tampa in a series.
Would you?
Yeah.
I just don't know if
I don't know if I'd take them over the Yankees. Not the way the Yankees are playing right now.
I mean,
Yeah.
You're going to have to go through at least 2 of these. You're going to have to go through Tampa, Yankees, Astros. You're going to have to go through. If
Yeah, I
you're
don't
White
know if
Sox,
I'd take them over Houston right now.
You're going to have
either.
to beat 2 of those in a series, and they're young. They are inexperienced in that situation. The Yankees. The Yankees haven't been there that much lately, but
Well, Tampa or the Yankees,
their players have.
one is going to have to win a 1-game play-in, which I hate.
Yeah, and I hate.
Because the Dodgers could finish with the second best record in all of baseball and get stuck in a 1-game play-in.
Yep, I'm a firm believer they got to do away with the 1 game.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 at minimum.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's just
They should either have 4 teams or 8 teams
Or
in each side,
yeah,
not 5.
yeah. Or would you like to see us go back to the way it was before we ever had divisions? You had American League and the National League. You played everybody the same amount of games.
Yeah.
I
And
know
just take
why the division.
take the top 4 out of each side.
I know why the way they do it is the division does weigh in a little more because you play 19. You play everybody in that division 19 games. But, having to play, if you're a Dodger, having to play the Giants 19 and the Padres 19. But then again, look at Toronto. I mean, they're 66 and 61. But they have to play the Red Sox 19, the Yankees 19, and the Rays 19.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you do there I don't think you should be. Basically, what we're saying here is you're getting punished because you're in the best division in baseball.
Yeah.
You get punished. And the NFL's talked about doing these things too, but they've never done it. You can still be 7-9 and get in the playoffs and host a wild card game.
Yeah. The imbalance between the divisions in both baseball and football.
I don't know exactly what you do to fix that. The only way to fix that is just once what does the NBA seed you by division champs or no? See, there you go. You could
they
just
are
get
in
away with it.
divisions, but those divisions don't.
You play them more.
Yeah, that's it.
And all that
it's
is
just less travel.
That's it.
Yeah.
All that to do is cut down on travel. Maybe that's what we need to see.
Maybe
in
the
other
NBA
sports.
does it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They take the top 8 from each side and seed them by the
See
record.
them by the record.
Yeah. maybe that's what we need to see in the other sports.
And winning a division in the NBA means absolutely nothing.
Right.
You know, they don't hang banners for winning a division.
Doesn't mean anything. No.
I think the NFL and Major League Baseball, I think it means a little bit to the teams to win there. I mean, the Dodgers brag about the 9 straight NL West titles,
which is coming to an end.
I'm not sitting here cracking on the Braves, but what you're getting at is like the Braves. Somebody's going to win that division, and second place right now is at 500.
Yeah.
No other division looks like, well, yeah, it does. The Central, American League Central looks like that because Cleveland. But don't get me wrong now, the White Sox are dominating that division. It's not like they just have a couple game lead and going to win the division. I mean, but I see what you're saying. I mean, it shouldn't be that big a deal to win a division, and hang a banner for winning a division. Especially when you win that division in just a few games over 500, right? Although the Braves, I'll give them a lot of credit. It's different for them. They come on strong late with a couple key injuries, maybe their best pitcher, maybe their best offensive player out for the year. And now here they have won 8 out of 10. They are now 11 games over 500. That's a team for the first 3 months couldn't even get to 500.
Yeah.
They just couldn't reach it. And now look where they are. So, yeah, impressive. Let's take a time out. We'll come back and talk just a little bit more baseball before we get into football here on Sports Talk.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, and then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. David Keever along with Mike Powell and Brett Keever here with you in the studio. Braves lead the National League East. I don't think I went through the National League, did I?
Yeah, I don't think you did either one of them, did you?
Oh, did I not?
No, not standings.
Okay. Tampa Bay leading the American League East 80-48, 4 games over the Yankees. Yankees have won 13 straight, however. How about that? Tampa has won 5 straight, 9 out of 10, but in those 9 out of 10, the Yankees gained a game. That's kind of like your National League West, right? The Red Sox still hanging in there, although they're just 5-5 in their last 10. 7 games out. Toronto's 13.5. Toronto's really hit the skids as of late, lost 7 out of 10. And the Orioles, of course, 40-87. White Sox lead the Central. 20 games over 500, 75-55. Indians 10 back, Tigers 12.5. And Cabrera finally got to 500 this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
He finally got early in the week. Good for him, Miggy, with his 500th home run in his career. I've always liked him. He just seems classy and like he's having a good time when he's playing. And in the early years, they were pretty good. I mean, they were in the playoffs quite a bit, but
Well, he had a good start with the Marlins. I think he won a World Series there.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. But here lately, the Tigers have.
But yeah, when he first got to Detroit, they had Scherzer and Verlander.
Right. Yeah, that makes a difference, don't it?
Yeah.
How do you let those two out the door? How do you let those two out of Michigan? No idea. Tigers 12.5, Royals 16, Twins 18 out. Astros lead the West. I still feel like they're a team that's not getting a lot of recognition and a lot of talk. Of course,
they're good enough to win it.
They are.
They are. They're good. And I
three-
know they just got Bregman back from injury this week, I think.
Three. Let's see here. 3 wins in a row for the Astros. They lead the Oakland A's, who have struggled. Boy, I'll tell you, talking about a slide. 6 straight losses, 2-8 in their last 10 for Oakland. That's not a good time to be.
What about Seattle? That's a nice surprise.
Seattle,
for them.
69-60.
I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs, but
well,
we never hear a word.
I wouldn't
about
count them out yet, but. Yeah, I mean, you have. I know they got a Seager on the team, one of the Northwest Cabarrus brothers that plays in the
Kyle
major
Seager.
leagues.
Is any team flying under the radar?
And he's had a good year too.
Yeah.
Is any team flying under the radar?
More so than Seattle. We as you say, we never hear anything about them.
No,
even though they're having a pretty good season by their standards.
They are 69-60.
They would still have to pass Boston and Oakland.
Yeah.
Well, the way those two are playing, I'm not saying.
They could.
The way those two are playing, it's not out of the question.
4 games behind
David,
Boston.
your Red Sox have a good chance to make the wild card.
They do, Mike, but look at their record over the last 30 days.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you know, it's all about what have you done for me lately.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you look at it that way, Mike, 2 months ago, the Red Sox were headed toward a World Series, and the Yankees weren't even going to make the playoffs.
That's true.
Now, to me, it looks like it could be the complete opposite.
Complete opposite.
Okay. That's why 162 games.
But sometimes you're kind
matter.
of like the Lou Holtz of.
Oh, I
baseball.
love. No, I'm not that good. Lou's the best.
He's the best.
Yeah.
That
Yep. We're big, but
low
we're,
ball
but
in
we're
his
slow.
own team.
We're small, but we're slow. I'm sorry. Lou Holtz once said, "We're small, but we're slow."
But we're slow. Best football quote ever still belongs to John.
A recipe for success, right there.
It is, isn't it?
I can't think.
He also said that, well, Coach, we know you've got all 22 starters coming back next year, 11 on offense, 11 on defense, and Lou Holtz said, well, we were 0-11. I'm not sure I want any of them back.
I know it. What was the best quote ever? The coach of the then hapless Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes.
Who was he?
Yes, John McKay.
John McKay.
I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah. How about your team's execution? I'm in favor of it. I mean, that's the greatest.
I am in favor of it. Yeah. That was the 0-16 season.
He was there after he had had great success in Southern Cal, and he inherits this team at Tampa
He'd had that
Bay.
of a sleep for a long time, hadn't he?
Yeah.
What do you think about
That Lou Holtz was at South Carolina, right? Is that where he said that he
Not
went
sure.
0-11 and then said
be.
that his first year at South Carolina?
Yeah. Now here's the funny part about that. I know where I went with that line. Okay. Did you take that as mean he was in favor of his team doing what they're supposed to do, or just shooting them all?
Shooting them all.
That's what I
Pretty
thought.
sure he meant that.
Which makes it so much better.
Yeah, his press,
Either way, it's funny.
his press conferences that first year when Tampa Bay was just an absolutely abysmal team were so funny.
Bruce Arian is a lot like that.
Yeah.
If you ever hear Bruce Arian press conference, the
I mean, it's
only
kinda-
difference is Bruce Arians is, you have 30 of the words will be beeped out.
Beeped out. That's right.
But it is.
It's occasionally nice to get a coach who doesn't take himself all that seriously.
Yeah. You won't hear Belichick.
You won't hear Belichick
with
cracking
those
any
quotes.
jokes.
I'm in favor of it. I don't know though. We're on to Cincinnati. That's lasted for how many years now? We're on to Cincinnati. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
The Braves lead the West 69-58, 5.5 over the Phillies. The Mets are 8.5 back. Nationals 14, Marlins 17. Milwaukee, is this the Seattle of the National League? I mean, we hadn't talked much about.
Well, it's a better version.
It is. It is. 'Cause Seattle's just in the mix. Milwaukee's led the
Milwaukee's
division
good.
all year. 117 plus on the run differential
Mm-hmm.
for Milwaukee. I just don't know if they can beat two really good teams in a series. But you know what? I'm not going to say they can't. Not going to say they can at this point. The Reds have also been right in the mix. The
The way I
Reds
see it, they don't have to.
were
They got to
no.
beat one.
Is that right? Just because? Yeah, because of
Well, the
wild card,
Dodgers and Giants are going to have to play.
a wild card,
Yeah.
and then each other. Yeah, that's
One
a
of
pretty
them's
good
going to play a
bracket.
wild card
You end
game,
up-
and then you're going to play the other one.
And Milwaukee's going to be playing Atlanta.
Yeah.
How about
What
And
that?
Atlanta's good, but they're not as good as the Giants and Dodgers.
Atlanta or Milwaukee won as of today. One of those two will be in the National League Championship Series.
Yeah.
What
How about
if,
that?
guys, Milwaukee wins it all, and then you have the Bucks
Oh, wow.
winning the NBA?
Yeah.
Milwaukee's finest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Milwaukee's fine.
And then what if Green Bay
Milwaukee's
wins the
best.
Super Bowl?
Milwaukee's best.
Milwaukee's
yeah.
best. And what if Green Bay wins the Super Bowl on Wisconsin, right? Wow.
His mother's finest. And
Mother's finest.
Remember that band?
I do.
And Milwaukee's,
Mother's finest.
and Milwaukee's best. The Brewers, which should be Milwaukee's best, right? That's perfect for them.
Yeah.
78-51, lead the Reds by 7.5, Cardinals by 12, Cubs by 22.5, Pirates by 31, and then there is the West, and man, it is a mess, but a good mess.
Yeah.
Except
Well,
for the
luckily the Padres
mess.
have fallen
Boy, what has
fallen
happened
out
there?
of division contention.
They have done that. I mean, they're now down to just 8 games over 500.
Yeah.
The Giants, 83-45, lead the division right now. 2.5 over the Dodgers, 15 over the Pods. The Rockies, 24 back, and Arizona, 40. I said 40. But you know what? I mean, they're 40 back, but their record's not as bad as the
Look at the
Orioles.
runs
Not as
allowed.
bad as the
The Orioles have an edge. They're only 39.5 back in their division. Look at what, Brett?
The runs allowed, 720. I mean, nobody else is even close to that.
720.
Well, actually, Baltimore's allowed more.
Yep.
But nobody in the National Leagues.
Yep. Lenny says, I don't like the one-game wild card. If the game was held today in the American League, it would be Garrett Cole versus Chris Sale. Think about that.
Yeah.
That's quickest way to end the one-game wild card is to have big market teams like Yankees, Dodgers, Boston playing in that game. That is a good point because
Yes, it is.
Especially if they get beat a couple times.
Yeah,
then,
Major League
then they're really
Baseball.
going to want to get rid of it.
Major League Baseball does want those teams
Speaking of Sale,
playing in those
David,
series.
how about his
immaculate inning.
immaculate inning, third one, tying Sandy Koufax?
There went my trivia question for the day. Thank you, Mike.
Got it.
I wasn't going to remember it anyway.
The reason I knew it was Koufax because I watched The Big Lebowski the other night, and the dude mentions Koufax. Or was it the John Goodman character? I can't remember.
Brett would know. I don't know if he'd know or not.
Brett's seen The Big Lebowski.
The reason
One of
I
my
knew it was
favorites.
Koufax is because the game I was watching, they told.
Yeah. I just heard it on. I heard it on.
They said the
one
only other one to
talk
do
show.
that is Sandy Koufax.
What about the Little League
and that's
pitcher? Have
three.
you guys seen
Yeah, what-
this
what is
dominant
that?
Little
Yeah.
League
I
pitcher?
have.
And they-
No-hitter?
I saw him yesterday. They were comparing him to Chris Sale, his arm angle and motion and
That's just
everything.
wacky looking then because Sale has one of the oddest
He
deliveries.
looks
Very
he looks a
very
lot
odd.
like Chris Sale in his delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's right.
The kid, like his first 35 outs in national competition, 29 were by strikeout. I think it was. So, yeah.
He's only allowed one hit. Like 130 something batters he's faced.
He's got to pick it
Allowed
up.
one hit.
Got to get
and-
better.
Struck out about 80% of them.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay. Will we see him one day pitching on television?
It's hard to say.
Yeah, who knows?
No.
Yeah, tomorrow or today or tomorrow.
see.
probably.
Major Leagues, I'm sorry.
see him in
Major
the
League
Little League
Baseball.
World Series.
Yeah, he's already been on television,
Yeah.
right? Seattle and Cincinnati are playing under the radar. That comes from Lenny. So I'm gonna proofread this one before I say it on air, and we'll do it when we get into high school football. So anybody change their mind on who's going to be playing in that World Series if we had to pick them right now? Dodgers, Yankees, Giants,
Dodgers,
Yankees?
Astros is mine.
Giants, Rays for me.
Giants, Rays. I'll go Dodgers, Yankees. At this point, I think I went with them last week, and I'll go with them next year. You know,
I'm going with the.
I'm going with them in the
Giants.
50s too, Mike. How many times did they play each other in the 50s? The
Yeah.
Dodgers and the Yankees. Out of a 10-year decade, how many years do you think they met?
I know.
7?
It was like every year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seemed like it did. Seemed like it took Dodgers a long time to get over the hump.
Kind of like
too,
the
right?
Celtics,
And beat 'em.
Lakers
Yeah, quite a few meetings.
history.
Yep.
You look at what the Dodgers had then. Wow.
Oh, you always had that New York-LA rivalry, which two of the biggest cities in the country. That's pretty good. I got nothing against that. Nothing against that.
And some of that was right before they moved to L.A.
That's right.
Let's take a time out. We come back. It's all about high school football here on Sports Talk. Glad to have you with us.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Welcome back. As close to Gary Glitter as we can get you, right?
Close as we want to be.
We've got, yeah, exactly. You ever seen him?
Yeah, he's a weird looking guy.
So yes, you were correct. As close as we want to be. I don't even know where he's at, but it's close enough.
My all-time favorite from those days, Adamant. Love me some Adamant.
Don't Stop. Is that what was on Don't Stop? What is it?
Yeah.
I can't remember that song. You know him, Brett?
I know that name.
Or are you talking about the cartoon character?
No, I'm talking about the 80s.
I know who you're talking about.
New Wave.
It used to be
guy.
a cartoon, Adamant.
Yeah, that's true. Adamant, the cartoon.
Who did that voice for Adamant? You remember? It was you'd know it. I can see him, but I can't think of his name.
Adamant, that's right.
But yeah, Adamant was strange. We have gone 50 minutes and have not mentioned the passing of Charlie Watts.
Got to. I mean, as I was texting with you during the week, Charlie Watts was a drummer on all 30 Rolling Stones albums and never missed a tour. Of course, he'll miss this one.
First-class individual.
Yeah.
You know.
Well-dressed man. He was voted
always.
a couple times one of the best-dressed men in London. Did his job. He was not part of the Mick Jagger, Keith Richards lifestyle, but just a heck of a drummer.
Just barely beat out Gary Glitter for best dressed.
Yeah.
Best dressed man. Who's the worst dressed man? Think about it. Who is the worst dressed?
What, in rock and roll or just
that's a public figure. The worst dressed man.
Belichick is close. I mean, come on.
I love it. I didn't even thought
Think
about
about
that.
it. I mean,
He
What about
cuts
Jim
off-
he gives
Harbaugh?
casual, and you
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim
looks
Harbaugh
great.
with the khakis.
Yeah, yeah,
the-
with
He,
those-
Jim
like
Harbaugh
oversized
can take
khakis.
a brand new pair of khakis.
he can take it,
and
rumple them up.
Yeah, he can make
completely.
it look bad in a hurry. Who is
Yeah,
the
I
worst?
go Jim
dressed
Harbaugh
man?
and Belichick as two of the worst I've seen. But
That's a good. That's a good one. I'll hear some opinions on
Yeah,
that.
so what
It
you
can
can
be
do-
actor, musician, whatever.
come on, guys,
You know,
you our core
Yeah.
listeners, give us a few.
You know what I saw. In the
Well,
news
you
this
see some
morning?
NBA players walking in and some weird stuff
do.
before the game.
Let me
too.
tell you
So-
two things I saw in the news.
Cam
this
Newton's
morning.
pretty bad.
Breaking news. You guys do know, Kanye West has filed to change his name.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah, he is it.
Yeah, he's taking the con off.
Oh,
Going to Yay. I'm guessing
Yay.
that's how you pronounce it because it's just Y. Saw that on the news.
okay. Yeah.
And this one I saw this morning, and I thought about you guys. Okay, only in Ohio. Okay, only in Ohio could this happen, right? You know, that's a ballpark. That's a minor league ballpark. I'm gonna show you this. That's a minor league ballpark in Akron, Ohio. And
Yeah.
you know how they always put the proposals on the big screen, and you see the guy on his knee proposing to his girlfriend,
Yep.
and it comes up on the screen. You marry me?
Sure.
Well, this one says, Alyssa, this relationship is over. Tim. Stone-faced
That-
Lanny over there didn't hear that one.
That's a new one.
He calls Rick
Yeah.
Stone hands. He's
I like
Stone-faced.
that. I like.
Yeah, it's right there
It's
on the
a-
scoreboard. Channel 3 had that on this morning.
Relationship is
Alyssa, this relationship is over, and over's in caps.
over. Ooh.
Tim, wonder how much you had to pay to get that on the board, and
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be great. What if she's sitting beside him
Yeah.
at the ballpark? You know,
Yeah,
doubt
he
it.
probably had to point it out to her.
I doubt it.
look at the screen. You don't think so, Mike? Is that not the best way to?
Yeah, that's a great way. To end it. I bet she wasn't in the ballpark sitting with him though.
Oh Lord. Lenny says Dapper Dan of the Rolling Stones, Charlie Watts. Yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's
he
a
was.
good. He was.
Lenny also says Milwaukee has really good pitching, but not the household names that we know, like Scherzer, Bueller, Kershaw, such as that.
Right.
Here we go. Rodney Willis says, speaking of sharp-dressed men, ZZ Top legend Dusty Hill passed away recently.
That's
and that
right.
was
Also-
about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've lost.
And
yeah,
we may
that's
have missed
another.
that one, too. We may not have mentioned that one as well. But,
Yeah, that's another rock icon we've lost in recent weeks.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here. I'm just feeling bad for Alyssa right now.
Yeah, tough way to get the news.
Just put it up on the board. You got, only in Ohio, right? I mean, that's one of the best I've seen in quite some time.
I always thought that the most heartless way to do it was by text, but this
Well,
may be worse.
now we haven't. Yeah, now we haven't. No, make it public real
Yeah,
quick.
make
you know.
it public.
Yep. So what happens if it's really not over and they're seen together next week, together in public? I thought I read you guys were. I thought I read you guys were finished, right? What's the deal with that? Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man.
What's your
Some
favorite
things
minor
are
league
funny.
team, guys? I know I came out of nowhere, but I saw a little feature.
Paul Tuckett. Who else?
I saw a little feature. I don't know whether it's on ESPN or something else. The Savannah Banana Split.
You just talking about the name.
Yeah.
You're not really talking about your
No.
favorite team, but
No.
your favorite
No.
team name.
But
for
and they
minor
use
league,
the
yeah.
banana thing.
Savannah Banana Splits.
They use that in all their promotions and stuff, and they have a banana eating contest.
When I was a kid, the Banana Splits was a TV show,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Am I right? What, Lanny, I'll remember that. Yeah. Something after school, you get home after school, and
Yeah.
some goofy thing. I can promise you that. It
Has
was-
the banana split gone away as a, ice cream dessert? We don't hear about it.
I'd
never
like to
had-
have one right now. Yeah.
You've never had a banana. Lanny has never had a banana split.
I hadn't
remember-
either.
Well, it's
but
pretty simple.
It's ice cream.
I
isn't
like
it?
ice
I
cream.
don't like ice cream.
He also
I like
never
bananas.
went to
I
the
haven't had one.
Tasty Freeze
I like 'em
in
both.
Cherryville when he was young.
I like ice cream and I like bananas.
Me too.
Who? I was still no. I want the worst dressed man. Somebody's
Me
got to
too.
tell me.
Come on.
Send it in here.
We got
Who is
Belichick.
the worst,
How
We
about Marilyn Manson?
worst dressed
Yeah.
man?
Pretty
That's
poorly
going-
Had
dressed.
That's going out there.
the androgynous look from Manson.
Any of the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
When they're
yeah,
dressed.
they're never dressed. I mean,
When they're dressed.
Flea is never dressed. What are you talking about?
All right, here we go. No particular order. We will get to your team, though, at some point. South Rowan beat North Rowan 28-20. Feel free to stop me on any of these, but do not stop me on Cary Christian and Pungo Christian last night, which was won by Cary 64. And I just had to do that. Had to throw that one in there.
Good one.
Was it? Charlotte Latin beat Hickory 24-6. You guys say why this matchup? Well, Hickory was to play South Caldwell. Caldwell County, all their schools games were canceled this week due to COVID. So Hickory, fortunate enough, they did find a game.
Yeah,
and
you'd rather play somebody.
Played a good Charlotte Latin team, fairly close.
Before you guys go on, what in the world is KIPP Pride?
KIP.
KIP Pride?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
You satisfied with that?
I didn't know whether that was an acronym for a team or what. Okay.
They've been around.
They have
a few years.
I haven't heard
it's
of
on
them
our
before.
it's on our board quite often.
Okay.
But yeah, missing score though.
Yeah,
Mike.
no score for that game.
That's right. Look that up, will you? No, I'm just kidding. West Charlotte beat Harding 20-8. It's hard for me to call it Harding University, although it is called Harding University High School for whatever reason officially. Myers Park 35-13. Good matchup here. A good Clover team. If I'm not mistaken, this game was 14-13 at one time.
I saw those highlights come on, and then I walked away for a minute and didn't see. I didn't even see who won. I figured Myers Park won, but
Clover stuck with them for a while.
The one I decided to step out on. KIP is Knowledge is Power program.
There you go,
All
Mike.
right, thank you.
It is in Gaston, North Carolina.
Good job.
That's up near Virginia, right? The town of Gaston.
I don't know.
I think
I've heard of it, but
it's not in Gaston County. Okay?
16.
It is the town of Gaston.
It's founded in 2005.
I think it's up near the Virginia line somewhere.
Yeah.
East Forsyth beat Rolesville. That game was played last night, and that score is not missing. According to this, it is 55-26. How about that? Thumping East Forsyth over Rolesville in 4A action. Princeton beat East Duplin 36-30. Try to find just a lot more West scores here. Christ the King beat Union Academy 42-12. Kinston over Green Central 27-0. Statesville, the Greyhounds, a member of the Western Foothills that North Lincoln and East Lincoln will be playing in, and they will be playing them early in their conference schedule. Statesville beat South Iredale 27-14. It was 27-0 at one time.
That's right.
The
score looks a little better than the game actually was.
It might have even been 27-0 at half. I'm not sure, but I'm not 100% sure. More issues. Newton Conover West Iredale did not play last night.
I was wondering. I kept looking for that score.
More COVID issues. Allegheny beat Grayson County. That's Brett's favorite team.
Steve K's team.
10-7 in that matchup. Mountain Heritage beat Irwin 28-21. Millbrook battling Raleigh 42-0 over Enloe. Rocky Mount Academy over Wayne Christian 22-16. Tarboro trailed in this game 18-14, I think. Come back and beats Hertford County 33-18. Tarboro last week played Rocky Mount and lost their opener. We've seen Rocky Mount win state titles. They're no fluke.
Yeah.
So got to give it to Tarboro stepping up, a 1A stepping up and playing some of these bigger schools in the early going. Last night they get a win to improve to 1-1. I'll just put it this way: when it comes to Tarboro, you can count on seeing them in late November.
Yes.
They're
their annual book them on late November.
They won 3 of the last 4, maybe, and they played East Surrey in all 4 of them. Is that right?
I think so.
And I think it is too. I think they.
It was definitely 3 of them.
Yeah,
at least 3.
And East Surrey got them one time.
Yeah.
Of course, East Surrey had a D1 team.
Yeah, I mean, like 8 guys that went to Carolina to play.
Yeah, and had a
included the converted tight end, right? He was quarterback then.
Yeah. Yes, they were very talented. That's for sure. But that's what you got to have if you're going to beat a Tarboro team that's just consistently in the mix. High Point Central beat T.W. Andrews 14-0. Let's see, Farmville Central, they fought in North Lenoir 42-19. Good to see football being played up in the mountains after what some of the teams went through last week. Tuscola,
horrific.
which is in Haywood County, which was affected very badly.
Hard hit.
Did get to play. Now, it looks like they played that game in Asheville or Skyland, if you've ever been to Skyland, where T.C. Roberson is. 42-36, Roberson a winner in that one. Chapel Hill beat Orange County 27-20. Bunn over Granville 34-0. This says Myers Park and Mallard Creek. That did not happen, right?
No.
Because
Nope.
Myers Park beat Clover.
Clover.
Yeah.
Let's see. South Wedge Edgecombe over North Edgecombe 54-21. We should have went to this one. North Pitt at Manio 35-8. North Pitt a winner. Been good to wake up at the Outer Banks this morning.
Yeah.
Wake Forest 48, Clayton nothing. Jacksonville over White Oak 48-6. Davie County over West Rowan 56-30 last night. Davie County's off to a fast start. Fuquay, they don't just get it done in baseball, do they?
No.
Fuquay 30-17 over Apex in football last night. Ardrey Kell 41, Cuthbertson 28, Northern Durham 25, Franklinton 23.
Like Norman North Iredale missing. I wonder if that's just don't have it or there's a problem.
Good question. You know, there's
They
so many
probably
things that
didn't
could
play
be this day and time.
because I think these scores are usually, if they played, they're usually on here by
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
It's true.
Yep. Thank goodness. I mean, that helps. It really
It
does.
does.
It really helps. Let's see. Marvin Ridge beat Independence 38-6. South Stokes over Bishop McGinnis 33-6. Cardinal Gibbons, who we have seen, they lost last week, right? To
Was that Chambers that beat them?
You know what time that game ended? After 1 a.m. Last week
Wow.
because of weather.
Oh,
Yep. Because of weather.
delays.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you got that drive home if you,
Yeah.
Chambers did last week. But Cardinal Gibbons wins last night 63-0. Carver over Atkins 22-6. Durham Hillside over Southern Durham 39-0. Pinecrest over Anson County 48-0. New Hanover 34, Jacksonville Northside 7. Bandy's, the Trojans, improved to 2-0. Now I'm thinking, how many Bandy's score last week? 44?
Yeah,
So 93 points
they're
for
close to 100
Bandy's
for
in
their
2
first
games.
two, yeah.
And we saw them in a scrimmage, and they couldn't.
They
even,
didn't score.
Couldn't even
I
pick up
know.
a first down.
They couldn't do anything in that scrimmage.
Didn't show their hand, right?
No, they
there you go.
didn't.
49-3 last night over Fred T. Ford. West Johnson over West Harnett 29-7. Scotland County falls to Wilmington Hoggard 24-7. Leesville Road 45. Panther Creek nothing. 71st out of Fayetteville beats Pine Forest 21-7. The Pam Pack Washington 48. First Flight nothing. Perkins 55. Camden County 24. Perkins is one of those 1A schools that's always in the mix. You see their name all the time. If you remember, I think if you look back at spring, I think they were the 1A baseball state.
They won the 1A
champions.
baseball
I think they did.
Remember, because the East didn't the
It
East
was
sweep?
yeah, they did, and I think it might have been East Surrey, believe it or not.
Yeah,
That they
Yeah, I
beat,
think it was.
That they beat in
it
those.
was East Surrey. Yeah.
Weddington's up to 4A. Looks like they just said, well, bring it on. You know,
Yeah.
I know they're in non-conference right now. We'll learn more when they move into conference play. But Weddington last night, 28-7. They improved to 2-0 here in the early going. Lake Norman Charter over Winston-Salem Prep, 16-6. West Stokes over North Surrey, 21-20. Now, this is the first time I've seen this score. Kings Mountain last night, you know, they lost to Shelby last week. Last night they win
They
at
shut
Asheville.
somebody out.
Asheville.
Yeah.
14-0. But Asheville's 0-2.
And Shelby beat
Who was it
AC
last week?
Reynolds
Was it
last
Chase that beat Asheville last week? I'm trying to remember. Somebody went to Asheville last week, and Asheville's 0-2. But Kings Mountain now, more importantly for the area team here, 1-1. Madison beat North Buncombe 47-24. Of course, East Lincoln and Forest View. If you'd like to see that, go see the Turf down at Kramer. They're going to play at Kramer tonight at 7 o'clock. Kick
So
off
not
at
an
7
afternoon
o'clock.
game. It will be a 7 o'clock game. Okay.
Yes. It's well afternoon, if that counts. East Wilkes over Surrey Central 40-22. Starmount over Community School of Davidson 21-10. Makes me wonder how that one got scheduled. That just sounds like somebody looking for a game.
That's what
and
it
when
sounds
I see
like.
that, it makes me wonder if it was one of those, ours got canceled. Do y'all want to play?
Who was it? Star Mountain who?
Community School of Davidson.
Yeah, you don't. You wouldn't think that those two teams it would.
Unless there's a coaching connection. You know, a
Yeah.
lot of times you'll see I used to coach with this guy or this guy
Yeah.
played for me and
Right.
they'll play.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, yeah, seems kind of odd. North Stanley 28, East Rowan 6, Mount Pleasant 10, Forest Hills 7, North Henderson over Osmond 56-21. This battle of Fat Friday, they used to call it, Battle of Burke County, 13-12, a close one last night. Freedom over East Burke at East Burke, 13-12. Are you guys surprised at the closeness of
A little bit.
the margin there? Yeah.
Yeah.
East Burke must be good defensively, at least. Pretty good on the defensive side of the ball. Patton and Drone, we know that one was postponed or canceled one due to COVID at the last minute yesterday. And Drone, I don't know. We'll see as we're going down there. They were looking for somebody that they could hopefully play tonight or Monday, but haven't seen anything on that yet at this point. How about this one? Brevard beats Robbinsville.
I saw that.
I think that's an upset. It's 2A beating a 1A, but Robbinsville been on a roll. Last year's 1A state champs, right, Brett?
Yep.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. 16-15, Brevard with the big win at home. Bunker Hill, also impressive in the first 2 weeks of the season. Last night, 42-0 over St. Stephen's. Somebody, we're going to confirm this because we all think
right.
this one's backwards. It's got Bessemer City 38, Kramer 6.
That's right.
It's backwards.
We all
yeah.
saw on TV.
Yeah, Football
unless
Friday night
the
had
TV
it.
was backwards. Well, before you got, they made a mistake or two. So it says Bessemer 38, Kramer 6. If that happened, that's a very good win. But it just looked to me on the highlights, so like Kramer scored more than once, which would mean they obviously
that is the wrong
won the
score.
game. Okay.
Kramer won the game.
All right. Mike Powell says Kramer 38, Bessemer City 6.
Right.
Robinson 28, Central Cabarrus 17.
I think Robinson is a team you could see
They've
make
been
some
doing-
noise.
yeah.
They're in 2A now.
Yep. Lenny says Kramer won. Thank you, Lenny. So
Thanks. Yeah.
now I believe it.
Confirming
I wasn't
that.
going on Mike Powell's word.
Yeah, I know you weren't going to believe me. Just wait for Lenny's
I did.
confirmation.
I did the same thing, Lenny. I did with you. I said Lenny says
Yeah.
Kramer.
Okay.
Kramer.
Good attribution. Yeah.
That's right.
Always give attribution.
Exactly. Let's see. East. It's got East Forsyth on here again. Brett said they lost to Raven Gap. I don't know. Now, see, now we're running into some issues here with teams
Max
being listed
Preps,
twice. Yeah.
I know.
West Caldwell RS Central obviously did not get to play since all the Caldwell County Schools games were called off. West Stanley beat Albemarle 34-14. Alexander Central over North Gaston 41-6. Here's a couple local scores that let me give you this one first. Central Davidson 62, Randleman 33. And now a couple that we really want to talk about a few minutes. One of those is Burns with a huge win last night over rival Crest 21-20, a game that was just one touchdown or tied all night long. Crest scored with 4 minutes to go, 4 and some change to go. Missed the extra point. And they got the ball back. I know they got the ball back because I was following on Twitter, and they got it into Burns territory. Don't know how it ended, though, other than the final score. I don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
These high school teams just need to stop kicking extra points.
Yeah.
It's just too iffy.
Yeah. I mean,
Even the good teams. I would take my chances on getting 2,
but
more than you don't.
in a way I see that, Brett, but there are some kickers out there that they're going to make.
Okay, if the game's tied.
They're going to make 95% of them.
If the game's tied and that 1 point would give
And
you
you
the
can
win,
Kick it.
I'd kick it.
So you're saying Crest
with a
should've
good
went for
team
2
that,
for the
that
win.
hits most of theirs.
You're saying Crest should have went for 2 for the win.
I'm saying Lincoln should have went for 2 last night every time they scored.
Yes.
That's more what I'm looking at.
It
Yeah.
It didn't
If
look
you
good.
have just complete futility and you can't make one, yeah, I got you.
But
I don't know how good Crest's kicker
let me
is,
ask
but
you
you got to
this,
have a
though.
good
Where
holder, a
would
good
you-
snapper.
where
You
do
got to be able to block.
Yeah.
What is success in kicking extra points? Give me. We got some coaches that listen here. What is success in kicking extra points? You're not going to get 100%.
90%.
But it's 75 success.
That's not good enough for me to just.
You've
not
always
go for
been a
2
firm
every time.
believer that go for 2 every time in high school.
I
You have.
only would kick if the game is tied and the point gives me a lead. I would only kick a field
So-
goal. I would only kick a field goal when the game is tied.
So you're
And a
going to
field
put
goal
you're
would
going
give you the
to
lead.
put the poor old kicker in this scenario. You hadn't kicked all year. We're at game 10.
Yeah.
This means if we go to the playoffs or not.
Yeah.
And now you're called on because it's 20-20 and there's 1 second left, and you got to hit
and
this
you-
extra
and you fold
point.
Yep.
under- you
And we hadn't
fold
asked
under
you to kick
pressure.
all
No, I'd
year.
be fine with going for 2 then too. But
I would love to know what these guys out there and anybody. It don't. I mean, the coaches is
I've seen too many
Yeah,
high
I
school
like that.
games lost on not being able to make an extra point. It is not always the kicker's fault. There's a lot more to it than just the kicker.
A lot of
We all remember something too, and I will never call his name. But Crest had a kicker that kicked about 99%, and in the state championship game,
Missed one that would have tied it, and they lost.
it was
Yep.
sent it to overtime, and
An
they
extra
did.
point.
And here it is, Crest again with a missed extra
I've seen
point.
Lincoln lose games 19-18 over the years
Yeah,
because they couldn't.
They did.
Couldn't
they
kick the
did.
extra
They
point.
were Lincoln was a 16 playing a 1 on the road at Thomasville, and they lost 19-18, 3 sixes, no extra points.
They lost a game to Maiden my senior year, 19-18.
Because of no extra points.
well, then you got to do. So if you're going to say 75% on PAT, so what's the percentage of making a 2-point?
It doesn't matter. You just go for 2.
Okay.
Now, if you're to
Okay.
a point where you're only getting 10% of them, then yeah, you maybe
Okay,
just start
do
kicking.
the math. Is it 66%? If you hit 66% of your extra points, then you only got to make 1 out of 3 2-point conversions to be even. Tell me, is that right? Am I doing the math right there? You got 2 points in 3 tries.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you make 1 out of 3,
yeah.
So 1 out of 3 is just
if
as good
your
as 2
kicker-
out of 3 extra
am I-
points.
so here's where I'd go. If your kicker is not making more than 70% of those extra points, ditch it.
Yep.
Right? Because you're better off going 2. Because you're going to make 1 out of 3 2-point conversions.
Yeah. You
might
can
make
run
2
the
out of
same
3.
play every time and make one
Yeah.
out of 3.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah, I think the odds are a lot better of making them in high school than at the collegiate level, and certainly the NFL level.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course they are. I mean, you're talking about high school kids now, Mike, versus college kickers and pros. I mean, you got a pro, a guy up there that's making millions of dollars. He's going to make you 99. Well,
No, I'm
anymore-
talking about. I
anymore
was
it's
referring to
different.
2-point
Oh,
conversions.
2-point
I
conversions.
think at the high school level,
Yeah.
you got a much better chance of making them.
In college and in the pros, you rarely ever see a bad snap or a bad hold or a blocked kick. In high school, you see that stuff
3
all
things
the time.
have to go right.
Yeah.
You got to have a good snap, a good hold, actually 4, because you got to block the line too.
Yeah.
So you're counting on, 9 guys up there, not the long snapper. Well, 8 guys, right? Because you got a holder and a kicker. So you're
Yeah.
counting on 8 guys.
Yeah. High school
block.
kids aren't going to. They're not going to execute everything. As Beth said, 3 or 4 things have to go absolutely right.
Lenny says we're talking too much math for him.
Yeah.
But
You're getting me giddy,
I think we
too,
got that
with all
right
this
though.
math.
I think that 66%.
I've just seen
is-
too many good teams that could
If you hit
that are going to get those
66%,
couple yards more often than not.
If you hit 66%, you're making 2 out of every 3. So every 3 touchdowns, you're getting 2 points. So you only got to make 1
Yeah.
out of 3 2-point conversion to do that.
Well, I know a
so if you're
coach
not
who-
making over 70%,
That's why I think
I'd ditch it.
I would only do it if you're
I'd
making
ditch it.
90%.
Yeah.
You got to make 90% for it to be worth it.
I
to
know
me.
at least one coach who follows Brett's philosophy, Larry Boone of Bessemer City. He never, in all the games I've covered,
Never seen him kick.
Never
seen him kick extra point.
Coach Boone go for a PAT. It's
Yeah.
always
I look at
2.
teams like South Point, and they always have a good kicker.
They do.
But
Oh, yeah.
do you not think they would get 3 out of every 4 2-point
Yes.
conversions? As good as their offense is at getting 3 yards.
Yeah, it would be hard to
West
stop them
Lincoln,
from getting
don't you
2
think they
points.
could
West
get
Lincoln.
more often than not?
West
They're going to get their 3
Yeah, but-
yards.
but
North
Brett,
Lincoln.
You're also
You know.
discounting field goals, Brett. You wouldn't even go for
No,
a field
never.
goal.
Only
what
if
are
the game
chances of
if the
making
game is tied and there's less than 5 seconds left, and that you got a better chance of making a
Nah,
field
I
goal
have
than
to
throwing
disagree
a
with you on
20-yard
that one.
touchdown.
I got the best text of the day. Lenny, I'm going to pick
Okay.
on you. Lenny says I was a poor math student, and he misspelled poor.
So he's wrong on 2 counts.
He did it like pouring in. Now, he might have done that on purpose. I'm going to give you
Yeah.
the benefit of the doubt. I was a poor.
Probably just a fast text.
I hope that was on purpose. I was a poor math student and misspelled a word in that. That's great. That's great. Yes, we didn't get any opinions on those extra points.
I know, I thought we would.
I'd like to know.
That's an interesting philosophical debate.
I'm almost on Brett's side. He's about got me convinced that go for 2 every time.
I mean, I've seen Lincoln teams with
What's the advantage,
D. Little
Mike?
John in the backfield.
Mike's doubting it a little bit. What's the deal, Mike? Why are you doubting it a little bit?
I just think if you have an excellent kicker.
Okay,
uh,
who's got one?
I know,
Ex-
but
Yeah, how many
Define
excellent
excellent.
high school
special
kickers
teams
are
is
there?
a part of the game. Why you just going to totally disregard special teams? That also involve kickoff return, punts.
Butch has a great one here.
So-
No kicker ever misses. They blame it on the fat kids up front.
yeah, that's a good one. Butch. I
that
like
is good.
one. Yeah.
Here's one. I hate kicking an extra point, and that's from a coach.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who is he?
I'm not going to
to
say that.
Now, if I'm up, once
I
the
don't know
game
if you'd
gets,
want that said, and
if
I'm
you're
not
up
going
by
to.
4 touchdowns, then yeah, do it and give your
Yeah.
kicker, give the whole 11 guys some practice on it.
Mm-hmm.
But in a close game,
Yep. In
I
high school,
would
yeah.
never do it.
Yep.
Okay.
Now that doesn't eliminate all special teams. You still got to kick off. You got to return. You got to punt. It's just those extra points.
Yeah.
There's too many missed
I
for different reasons, and I'm not saying it's just because of a bad kicker.
You know,
because
it would be great if we could do a survey just for a couple weeks and see what percentage of extra points, are made, kicks, 2 points, whatever they may be.
well, the good
But it
teams
would take
usually
some-
make them, and the bad teams don't. That's
You're right.
That's one thing.
You're
I
right.
mean,
I mean, that's a good way to put it. They really do. Speaking of good teams making them, Shelby won last night over AC Reynolds 15-12, very tight game. Let's see. I'm getting more texts, so I'll have to read those in a minute and make sure they're okay to be read aloud. Thomas Jefferson 23, Pine Lake Prep 8, Forbush over Trinity 56-6, Porter Ridge over West Cabarrus 34-10. Brett brought that one up earlier this morning. Franklin over Hayesville 44-14. Chase over Owen last night 56-6 on the road. Nice win for Chase. 2-0,
another
right?
team that could make some noise
I'd
in
say
the
Chase
2A
is
playoffs.
back big time, wouldn't you guys? I mean, based on what they did last year and are doing this year.
Will they beat Shelby?
No.
No.
That streak is long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's never, they've never done it. They've never gotten over that hump.
No.
So you had a chance about, 6-8 years ago. There was a
Oh,
time
just a year or two ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was back and forth.
Yeah.
Hickory Grove, Christian 49, Highland Tech, nothing. It was Burlington Williams over Moorhead 13-7. Nothing on Lexington and Walkertown. Mount Tabor over North Forsyth 38-0. Eastern Randolph 49, Ashboro 7. Bartlett Yancey 36, McMichael 22. Reagan falls to Grimsley 21-19. Reedsville over Greensboro Page 42-13. Status quo for Reedsville. How about Salisbury last night? Polk County just beat Newton last
They
week.
were dominant.
Salisbury 44, Polk County nothing last night on the road at Polk County. South Point 35, East Gaston 7. This may sound like the wrong time to say this, but East Gaston is a much improved football team.
They gave them
from the
7-7
last-
at halftime, wasn't
Oh,
it?
is that what it was?
I think it was.
Yeah. They beat North Gaston last week 52-0. I think everybody thought they might beat North Gaston, but nobody saw 52-0 coming. And now they, if they, they're much improved. You can just tell. It's not the end of the world losing to South Point. Okay,
No.
let's put
No.
it that way. But if you said that, if that's right, Brett, 7-7
I think it was
and a half,
7-7 at halftime.
that's impressive. Got to give the new coach
Which
down East
tells
Gaston
me
a lot of
South
credit.
Point's a second half team because
Yeah.
they,
Same thing
Lincoln
last
game
week.
was 14-7
Yeah.
at half.
Swain County beat Smoky Mountain 21-9. Providence Grove 42, Southern Guilford 26. Thomasville over Montgomery Central 34-8. Let's see. Northwood 72, Jordan Matthews nothing. Mountain Island Charter 28, Cabarrus Stallions 6. Hendersonville 58. That Cabarrus Stallions, they play baseball too. I've covered them playing West
How
Lincoln
many schools
in
does
baseball.
Cabarrus County have? Good Lord.
I think the Cabarrus Stallions is homeschool, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can tell me if I'm wrong on that, but I think the Stallions are homeschool. They played in a tournament down at, it might have been in Ashboro, that West Lincoln was playing in over a break one year, and I actually saw, and I'm going to tell you right now, they may have had 25 hits in that. They pounded the baseball. They could hit. Hendersonville 58, West Henderson
That's the team I'd like to see
nothing.
this year.
Hendersonville.
Yeah.
Yep.
They
Beat
must
Shelby
be
last
good.
year, right?
Yeah.
Eliminated Shelby.
must
They
be
scored
really
70
Eliminated
last
Shelby.
week.
Yeah. Yeah. And now we're going to go right back and get to these two. I want to talk about these two for a minute. Let's go Maiden first. Maiden 47-0 over Watauga. This thing was just like blowout city from the get-go. I think a lot of people thought this one would be closer than it was, but Maiden just to score on those big plays. And, I mean, clicking on all cylinders right now, you know. I mean, obviously they're the pick to win the CVAC. But, you know, the story for them is going to be how much further can they go. They got to get by, you know, that last year it was first round. Of course, worst
that was
draw
about
they
as
could
tough
possibly
of a first
draw.
round game as you could have.
It was.
I mean, it was a state champion.
It was as tough as you could have because they wound up playing Salisbury at home. I don't see them getting a draw like that this year.
No, they shouldn't.
When was
a
the
lot more
last time
teams in the
Maiden won a
playoffs.
playoff game?
2-3 years ago.
Okay.
But now they have had a bad stretch that, you know, maybe 1 in 6 years, something like that.
Well, they had
1 in
a year
5.
they were upset by Ford when they were the top seed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's maybe been 5 years ago or
They
something.
had a
like
little
that.
problem with those first round
Mount Pleasant,
games.
I think, beat them
Yeah,
one
Mount
year.
Pleasant beat them.
I can't remember, but now like
They'll
I
get
said,
through the first round.
last year
this
was
year.
a weird year anyway because you only had ones
less
and twos.
teams. Yeah,
ones
only
and
have ones and
twos.
twos.
I only played conference games.
I, you know, honestly, if I had to just guess right now, this is the year they're going to get past that. I mean,
You would think so.
Yeah, they're going to. I don't know how deep they can go, you know, and because. You know, you sit here and you can see them and see what they've got and see the talent, but then you don't know how they match up against, say, a Shelby down the road, a Reedsville down the road, other 2A teams that, I mean, there's plenty out there.
Yeah, well, Hendersonville.
Hendersonville.
Hendersonville
Chase
is
looks good.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something right now. They may not want to hear me say it. West Lincoln has played them, had beat them 2 out of 3, and last year lost by 1, you know. I mean, it's just familiarity with each other.
Well, you know,
goes a long way there.
When you play an offense like West Lincoln's and you can move the chains, you're going to keep it away from the other team.
And that's what, and I think that's what we expected. I picked Maiden. A couple guys picked Watauga, but that's what we expected Watauga to do.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
Pound and
That's
pound.
what we expected
Round
them to
and
do.
pound.
I thought they might just be too big and physical for
That's
Maiden
what I
to
thought.
be able to stop them.
Right.
That's what I thought.
And then Maiden shut them out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
that's probably the most impressive win score-wise that I've seen on the board.
Here comes another one on the 2-point conversion. I'll bet on any fullback versus a kicker who practices 2 turns a week. Don't use my name. Would never do that to you. Would never do that to you. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Especially, yeah.
Well, say you
let's
got
put it this way too. You know, if you throw the ball 50% of the time or more, maybe you're less likely to get the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? You know, but if you are a ground and pound running team that's not like some of the ones we talked about earlier, you know, like you said earlier, like a West Lincoln, like a South Point.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of them out there, you know, like a Bandy's, you know. Yeah, I could see just taking your chances on that 2-point conversion. I'm going to call all these guys that are answering me now later and say, then why do y'all kick?
Yeah.
and that practicing 2 times a week. So you got a guy who
some of them are assistants. They may think I'm not the head coach.
Yeah, they're not making that decision.
So you got to do.
So we don't want to put them on that spot. That's for sure.
So you got a dual sport guy like he's playing soccer or something, and he can't practice every day with the football team. So I can see that too.
But you need to text me if I can. Let's see here. Okay, now I get one from Butch. Says Scott should be ashamed. Let me think. Anybody? I don't know. I don't know on that one. Scott should be ashamed.
Is he talking about the 2-point thing?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, Butch, can I inform the people that, or do you want me to remain silent on the other winner last night at Maiden? You know, because the Blue Devils won on the field, but there was another winner at Maiden. If he thinks I shouldn't mention it, I won't, but I'll let him tell me.
Speaking of Maiden, I heard their JV team is really good this year, so they're going to be good for
Is that for the future?
Yeah, for several years.
Yep.
Did you give the Reidsville score? Because I thought that was a really impressive win last night.
I thought I did.
You might have.
And we still got to give West Lincoln and talk about that game.
Right.
Let Mike tell us a little bit about it. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say this: Maiden most impressive win last night. I think on the scoreboard, Maiden is especially in our area.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they had the most impressive win last night. Not because they won, how they won. Because of how they won. Yes.
And the
and just looking at some
Burns
of the others,
was pretty impressive.
Just
beating Crest,
that's right.
period,
Yep.
is impressive.
I agree. It is. And what did AC Reynolds do a week ago? I'm anxious. I like to see, Shelby and them were very close, but what did Reynolds do?
Didn't they get blown out by Forsyth, West Forsyth?
They got blown out.
I think they did. And, we have always looked at, I don't care what class you are, you're not blowing Shelby out.
Right.
So how do you calculate all this together? Is Shelby as
Well,
good
I
as we
wonder
think?
if Shelby's as good this year as I mean, they weren't great last year.
They weren't.
No, they weren't great
And they didn't
last
win
year.
it. And
But
I think they won it year before, but then they didn't
There's
win it the
been
year
some
before that when
changes in
Highbright
Shelby
did.
recently. I mean, Lance Ware
Lance Ware
left,
left.
and
New coach come in, won the
it
state
seems like they have a
first year.
different quarterback every year. I mean, most of their quarterbacks are just
I don't
play
know
their senior year.
whether the same quarterback is back this year. I did see him last year in the first round of the playoffs, and
I'm not sure I'll tell you something else too. I'm sorry, Mike, but they beat Kings Mountain last week bad.
Yeah.
But I don't think Kings Mountain's quite on the
I
level
don't
they've
either.
been either.
I don't
You
know.
Oh no, they lost a lot of talent.
They just won last night over Asheville. Don't get me wrong, Asheville on the road, 14-0. But Asheville also lost last week. To Chase.
I think Kings
2A
Mountain's
score.
down.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that score last week between Shelby and the Mountaineers is indicative of Shelby's strength.
Could this be Burns' year to be the best team in
Could be.
Cleveland County?
I still don't. Okay, Butch says Scott should be ashamed. Then he says the kicking comment.
Does he think Scott made the fullback comment?
I will say this: it wasn't him. Haven't heard from Scott this morning. Have not
wasn't
heard from Scott this morning. And Butch says I can go ahead and lay it out on the line. The other winner last night. They had an individual winner last night.
What was it, half and half?
It was a half and half.
Okay.
Yep.
How big?
Butch Parker was
Oh, Butch Parker
the
was
winner.
the winner. All
and he
right.
says he's buying breakfast this morning. Sorry, Lanny.
Okay. Lanny, you won't have to pick
Because
up the tab.
He's $1,200 richer this morning.
Wow.
Nice half and half last night.
That
My first
is
comment, though, I said,
nice.
it was rigged. Yeah. Was Watauga's crowd good? It wasn't 1,200. It was close. 1,088. Just give me the
That's
exact number.
pretty
He's been
good.
sitting there counting ones this morning.
I'd give it back.
You are?
Gonna get me
I'm
with
going
the-
French toast. I'm changing
man.
up.
Yeah, that's a nice tip. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
For being there all day, and then they call out your number. I like it. That's good. That's good.
I wonder what his
And-
contribution to the
Well, you know what I'm going to say is I'm going to say this though, and he don't have to comment because I know a couple of guys that do this. These conference commissioners, they're underpaid.
They are.
They do a lot of work. If you
Kidding.
don't break it down by the hour, they'll tell you. I mean, they won't tell you because they like doing what they're doing.
Sure.
But I know Butch does that. I know Lavelle Hall does it for the Western Foothills 3A. I know a couple of these guys, and I just for what they do and what they put in, and especially during a COVID year.
Oh boy.
They're underpaid for the time they put in and
Yeah.
all the contributions. So there's a nice tip. There's a nice, what is it we call them in the coaching world? Why can't I think of the name of, you get your, help me.
A bonus?
Bonus?
No. Supplement. Thank you.
Supplement,
Your
yeah.
supplement for coaching. I was poor at getting the right words. P-O-U-R.
Poor.
Before we take a break, it is 9:30. We need to take one, but we do want to talk about West Lincoln. Fell behind last night, Mike, 7-0 early. but just too much for Cherryville down the stretch. Another win for the Rebels, who have, let's just say, fast 3 years or so.
Yeah,
One of the top teams in the area.
that's right.
One of the top teams in the area. Look at the records; they speak for themselves.
Well, it's a rivalry game, West Lincoln Cherryville. That's one of the backyard brawl, whatever you want to call it. And Cherryville played really well early. West Lincoln had a breakdown in the kicking game, a bad snap on a punt, gave Cherryville good field position, and they took it in. It was a touchdown pass, led 7-0. The game was 7-7 midway through the second quarter, but right at the end of the first half, West Lincoln scored with no time left on the clock on a pass from Jordan Truesdale to Mason Avery. I want to get that right because there was some dispute about that last night in the press box. I don't know, that made it 13-7 at the half, and the second half was just all West Lincoln. They just sort of used that the momentum from the big play at the end of the half and just completely dominated, had a couple long drives. My takeaway from the game was the improved play of quarterback Jordan Truesdale. In the second half, he did a real good job on the option pitch. He had an 11-yard touchdown run himself on a keeper, but on two touchdown plays in the second half, he just had beautifully timed pitches, both of them going to Trace Gilmore. Just running that option right out to the last moment, and then you pitch it, and then the running back has a clear avenue, and that's what happened. Just great execution on that, a 25-yard run by Gilmore, and then another option pitch from Truesdale, 43 yards by Gilmore for the last West Lincoln touchdown. So after falling behind 7-0, the Rebels reel off 27 unanswered points. Mason Avery, of course, had the big game in the opener, 243 yards. And, good game last night, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I had him with 25 carries for 180 yards. He just, just softened up, just wore down the Ironman's front seven or that interior defense. But Trace Gilmore also had a big night, 9 carries for 100 yards. So West Lincoln running game was efficient. I had him 43 carries, 304. They were 3 for 6 passing with Truesdale, 57 yards. But another big stat was just West Lincoln's defense. Cherryville scored early after getting great field position, but after that, I had the Ironman with only 32 net yards on 30 attempts, and they only had 51 yards passing on 4 for 17.
Wow.
West Lincoln picked off 2 Cherryville passes. It was just a good overall performance by West Lincoln. Now, West Lincoln did have a few problems in the first half. They had 4 fumbles in the first half, and
I can't wait to read you this text.
And lost one, but they cleaned that up, and defense was airtight. They just ran the football relentlessly. Good execution. Pretty impressive win in a rivalry game before a really good crowd. West Lincoln had their side just packed out.
Yeah, you'd expect that.
And Cherryville had a good crowd, too. So it was a good atmosphere, good win for West Lincoln.
This one comes from David Avery. He says, 8 hours later, still scares me we're going to fumble the ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did. They did.
Wacky face on
They
that.
couldn't keep their hands on it for some reason last night in the first half.
Cherryville came out in a defense that we hadn't practiced a snap against. Took us a little while to figure out what the heck we were doing.
Right.
But once I realized they could have a pitch defender weak side, I knew that they couldn't stop inside veer weak side. So, best Cherryville team. I like this comment right here. Best Cherryville team we've played against in several years.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, the Ironman. It probably is. I think so. I mean, I think they'll do okay against the 1A opponents they play in their new conference. Obviously, you got Burns and Shelby. is part of that mix. But yeah, and that kind of goes along with what.
Who's the other two? We were discussing.
Isn't it Chase? Or
Yeah,
not?
I don't.
No. Is
well, they'd have to be in with RS. And,
There's only two.
Oh,
and
okay.
East Rutherford.
East Gaston.
East Gaston.
That's it.
Yeah,
Ooh.
East Gaston.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that's not going to be a pushover.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Not anymore.
So Cherryville has to try to beat Bessemer City.
Cherryville's playing
Tech.
Chase in non-conference.
Yeah, they
Are they?
always do.
Yeah.
They play them for years in non-conference.
Battle of the Seas.
But what David said, yeah, that's right. Cherryville defensively had looked pretty good early against West Lincoln, and West Lincoln seemed a little bit having some issues with their execution. But as David said, they figured it out.
Both Davids.
Both Davids.
David
Yeah.
from David.
Yeah. So.
All right, let's take our final time out. We got to come back and talk a little bit about North Lincoln's come from behind win last night over Lincoln. Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
All right, welcome back. Rodney Willis says West Lincoln's always had tough and gritty kids who can compete with almost anyone in the trenches and running the ball. But I personally feel like it is often overlooked. However, Darren Ponder's defensive coaching schemes, preparation, and in-game adjustments have had the greatest impact West Lincoln football success over the past several years. Damn fine coach, he says at the bottom. And yes. I like that.
It's waxing poetic.
Yeah. What are you wanting, Rodney? I like it. Ponder does do a great job, and and David Avery on the offensive side of the ball.
You were talking about their secondary may not be as good this year. The first two games I've seen, I thought the secondary looked pretty good.
I was going on information from the coaching staff. Okay. That's all I'll say. I was going on information from the coaching staff.
2 picks last night. And
they just lost guys. They got new guys.
Every year you go into a season.
Yeah.
They were wiped out in that department, so you don't expect it to be,
I'm
probably tell you
they
not as fast
the
as
guy
they
that was
were.
their quarterback last year. He was really good in the secondary.
He's good. He was good. Period. He was good on both sides.
What I'm saying is, though, I'm seeing game-by-game improvement from their quarterback in the execution, particularly of the option, the pitch, and when to keep it. And if he continues to get better. And they got Avery, who's going to pound, and they got the other kid, number 4. They got Gilmore. Mm-hmm. Pretty potent running game.
Yep.
I got to say. I mean, it's going to be the multi-head monster there. I mean, if the quarterback can, if he starts becoming a force in the running game himself.
Just looking here at some of the stats last night, I'll give you the touchdown rundown real quick. North Lincoln blocked a punt. On Lincoln's opening drive, blocked a punt, recovered at the 4-yard line, and the quarterback Kyle Kovalchuk had a 4-yard run.
He's my man. I love that kid.
Yeah.
I love Kyle.
He runs like a fullback.
He does.
He runs like a fullback.
Yeah. I like him.
They got the 2-point conversion on their little trick play, 8-0. They led. Lincoln made it 8-6 on a Bernard Wingate 10-yard touchdown run. Here's Brett's favorite part of the night: kick failed. In the second quarter, it was I can't read my own writing. 2-yard run by Liam Sutton. 2-point convert. Excuse me. They kicked the extra point this time.
Yeah,
they did kick the extra point, which was smart at this point. Let me tell you why. Okay. They're up 8.
Yeah,
at
put
the
them
time.
at 9.
You kick the extra point, it's a 2-possession game, right? So after in the second quarter, North Lincoln leads 15-6. That was at the 1:42 mark. Third quarter, Lincoln got a long run out of Ian. Am I getting the first name right, Brett?
Yeah, Ian Stansel.
Ian Stansel, who is a junior running back. I didn't know what year he was, and I'm not familiar with that kid. But he had a long 68-yard run, 4:34 to go in the third quarter. Kick failed. Mm-hmm. We'll go there again. I'm not blaming these on the kicker. Now this is I'm sitting here to tell you
he missed one.
Right. These weren't all the kicker's fault. It's everything else
yeah.
that has to go right that we
Sure.
talk about, okay? So at that point, what do we got? 15-12,
Yeah.
right? In the fourth quarter, early in the fourth, 10:52 to go, the quarterback for Lincoln, Andre Bost, a 1-yard touchdown run. Now, this was set up how?
They threw a little
what was
screen
it?
over on Lincoln's sideline, and the receiver broke it.
It went a long way
Yep.
on that
and
pass.
got tackled at the 1.
Got tackled at the 1.
And that was number 2.
That would have
that
been
Odom?
Anthony
Yeah.
Odom. But Lincoln punched it in from 1 yard out, the quarterback keeper. And again,
Kick blocked.
well, is that what happened?
Yeah.
I can't.
Got blocked.
I didn't mark it down. I'm glad you said I couldn't remember.
I mean, it was so low, I don't know if
Yeah.
it would have,
Yep. 3 extra point kicks, 3 misses. But at that point, anyway, Lincoln is up
18-15.
18-15. But
At that point, it is when it looked like Lincoln ran out of gas.
They did.
Their defense was gassed.
and it was hot, and you could see how many kids were leaned over with their hands on their knees trying to hold themselves up. But give North Lincoln a lot of credit. They did not. They answered immediately. I mean, they went right down the field and scored about 4 minutes later. Rogers, I don't have his first name here in front of me. Brennan Rogers.
Yeah, Brennan Rogers. Yeah,
That 34.
Yep.
the
Yeah.
fullback
Had a
and,
4-yard touchdown run.
How many times did he
to
carry
make
it?
21-18.
Probably
Brennan
a bunch.
Rogers carried it last
I didn't think he
night.
did.
No.
Oh, okay.
11 for 60.
I thought he carried it 3 or 4 times in the first 3 quarters, and then they
didn't go back
kind
to
of let him close the game out. That's what he did. That was kind of his role.
Honestly, Lincoln ran more offensive plays
Yeah.
than North Lincoln did. You wouldn't expect that way. North Lincoln likes that ball control and keeps it away from
Well-
you and stuff. But Lincoln ran more offensive plays, I'm pretty sure, by looking at this sheet.
One observation, guys. It seems like West Lincoln relies on the fullback out of the wing tee a lot more than North Lincoln does. You mentioned Rogers only carried 11 or 12 times.
Yeah, the quarterback ran
Quarterback.
it a lot.
Kovacic seems
Yeah,
to be
he ran
more-
it a lot.
Well, let's not forget Liam Sutton.
Oh, yeah.
Who
Yeah. Can't
we
be-
all were corrected because
We
he scored
all-
the 80 touchdown.
he scored
Except
the-
for me. I'm taking credit. I had this one.
You had it right. I got it.
But I'll go ahead and tell you I wasn't 100% positive because of the view I had.
Yeah.
But it was Liam Sutton last
It was
week
last
against
week.
West that had the 80-yard touchdown
Not-
reception on the first offensive
not
play.
Reed King.
Not Reed King. But
Yeah,
they're
not-
2 and they're
not-
7. If you watched the game last night and Brett was there, you can get them confused.
Yeah.
You can
We-
get the 2 and the 7 confused.
Believe me, everybody in
on
the
those
press
style
box got it
numbers.
wrong.
Yeah.
Um,
But you know, last night for North Lincoln, let me give you the last score. They also added a touchdown run at the end. Rogers went 4 yards to give them the lead back at 21-18. Then they tacked on one with just 19 seconds to go to make it a 28-18 win. That one was Kovalchuk with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night.
so that was a very close game.
It was, yeah. It was. I mean, it could have went either way, and Lincoln had their chance. They had
There
the
were
ball.
plays in the
Had
first
the ball with
half.
4 minutes to go.
Lincoln shouldn't have been down 9 at halftime. That's where they kind
Lot
of let it slip away in
lot
the
of
first
penalties,
half.
A lot of penalties cost them in the first
The
half.
they could have had a safety, and the ball got kicked out of the back of the end zone for a
yeah,
touchback
yeah.
instead.
Yeah, it was a weird play.
Yeah.
We talked about that one.
Instead of the safety would have tied it at 8. Instead, it's a touchback.
And a
North
first
Lincoln
down.
goes on and scores.
Yeah.
The ball got
And they're
kicked
up
out of the end
15 to
zone,
6.
and they gained 13 yards in the first down because it was kicked by the defense.
That's right.
Rogers had 11 carries, 60 yards. Sutton with 9 carries, 67 yards. Kovalchuk, 12 carries, 104, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, so
12 carries, 104,
that's
and
pretty
3
productive. That's
touchdowns.
almost 10 yards a carry.
North Lincoln had 13 first downs. Lincoln had 11. North Lincoln was 1. This is unofficial because I got to get home and double check everything. But North Lincoln was 1 for 5 in the passing game, but it was big. It was
Oh,
a
yeah,
68-yarder right after Lincoln scored to
To
set up a
whom?
touchdown
To whom?
to a very speedy number 18, Mike Powell.
I want to get this one right.
Number 18 is Timmy Schaefer.
Timmy Schaefer.
Yep,
oh, yeah.
Timmy Schaefer, 160-pound
Yeah.
senior.
He had a
And
catch
he was
last
quick, and he
week.
was wide open.
Yeah.
And the throw was on the money, wasn't it, Brad?
Yeah, it was.
Kind of a post pattern down the middle
Yeah,
of the field.
he had a catch last week against West, too.
Yeah. Lincoln quarterback. Lincoln did complete 5 passes on the night. The big one was the 62-yarder, as Brett mentioned earlier, the screen pass, 71. and 102 yards through the air. And balanced running game, I thought, for Lincoln. The quarterback had the most yards. Boss, he had 11 carries, 90 yards, and Stencil had 13 carries, 89. Like I said, all these are unofficial. Wingate 7 for 38. So, and like I said, the number of the plays, if you just look on the sheet, pretty balanced. But Lincoln probably held an edge in snaps in that game last night. Which, if you'd have told me that they would have more snaps, then I would have, I would have probably said, yeah, well, then they're going to have a decent chance of winning the game, and they did. They did have a decent chance of winning the game.
Penalties were a big difference.
Yeah, I did not give.
The penalties were bad.
Yeah, and you know what? You usually don't hardly see any out of North Lincoln, but last week they had penalties that hurt them in the West Lincoln game. And last night for North Lincoln, 30, 40, 50, 51 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for 51.
Lincoln had twice that at least.
Lincoln had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 penalties for Lincoln last night. Unofficial once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 74, 84, 94, 104, roughly 125 yards in penalties for Lincoln. Yeah,
that's a lot.
Critical,
you get over 100 yards.
critical personal fouls.
Oh yeah, I think 5 personal fouls.
Might have been.
Well, there's no excuse for personal fouls.
Yeah, and a lot of them were dead ball.
Yeah,
2 or 3 were dead ball personal fouls.
I don't know.
Yeah, that last drive after they got behind by 3, they had a pretty decent kick return that would have put them at about the 40 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Had a holding and a personal foul after the play that took them back inside the 20, and that's where they had to start that drive.
They also had a play where they got a pass interference and would have been 1st and goal at the 4, but there was a personal foul on Lincoln, so they marked off the half the distance to the goal to the 4. Then they went 15 the other way. So instead of 1st and goal at the 4, you're 1st and goal at the 19.
It wasn't 1st; it was 4th.
Yeah, they didn't even.
They could have 1st and goal at the 4, and instead it's 4th and goal at the 20.
Yeah, yep. That don't help you any either. And I can't remember. They didn't come with any points on that, did they?
No. How many? What was the penalty?
They tried
yardage?
to run. Remember, they tried a little quarterback draw, and he got to like the 2.
He did get to the 2
on 4th and goal from about the 20. He ran it down to
between
the 2.
Between 120 and 130 yards penalties.
Yeah.
I just have to get.
How about North? What was theirs again?
50. 7 for
51. 7 for 51. Because they had one that was a 1-yard penalty because they jumped off sides or something and it moved it.
And then, as you mentioned earlier, David, last week, the North Lincoln's penalties against West came at very crucial times.
You can take 7 for 50.
That's probably
usually
driving Coach Nicky Basil crazy too because
they usually don't make mistakes.
No, that's the thing that he had told me before the season got started that they were behind on everything. That summer workouts didn't, with all the disruptions and everything, everything wasn't as normal, and that they were behind on a lot of stuff. And a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, we hadn't had normal for a long time.
No, we haven't. No, but you know what? I think both of those teams could improve as the season goes along. North Lincoln will improve as the season goes along, and I think Lincoln will too. I think I think both, as every team hopes to do, you get better as the season.
Where do you see North Lincoln in the power structure of this new conference? Do you think they got a chance to make the playoffs? You see,
they'll be third.
Yeah,
they'll be third.
They'll make the playoffs.
I don't see anybody beating them other than States One East Lincoln.
Yeah.
Okay.
In that league. I may be wrong. Maybe there's somebody I'm missing out on over there. But I think they're third best in that league. At this point anyway. So only time will tell.
Right.
Just did want to look real quick. Is there anything else about high school football? And I have no idea about next week's.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at next week's
schedule.
schedule. Any big games coming up?
But what
Lincoln's at East. That's the county matchup.
County
rivalry game. Yes.
North Lincoln would be playing Northwest Cabarrus, right? That's the only one non-conference game left.
That's a weird matchup, but it should be interesting.
And I think
that will
West
be an
Lincoln
interesting
plays
matchup.
Fred T. Ford. I think.
Yeah.
So West Lincoln is probably. I'm not I'm not nothing against Ford, but it looks like Wesleyan's got to roll into conference play.
They should.
3-0.
Yep, they should. They should.
Yeah, Ford seems to be
They're struggling
down
right now.
Yeah.
Next week is Labor Day weekend.
It is.
Is that right?
All weekend.
Oh, good. Nothing like those Monday holidays, right? Nothing like those Monday holidays.
You mentioned that I missed my pick last night against Maine. just in case anybody missed it.
Lanny said he missed his pick last night against May.
I missed it
went
too.
with May.
I missed it too.
Hey, I'm the only one got it.
I
But
blew it.
But it was like 4-3, so they're 4-4 or something
Yeah.
like that. West Lincoln does play Ford next week at West Lincoln. I can't believe Rodney Willis knew that.
Yeah, it was shocking that Rodney would know
I
that.
love Rodney. He didn't even hit me with any Yankee mess this morning.
Them
either,
Bandies
and they
are
have been
maiden.
nominate.
2 tough ones to start the conference
Yeah.
season out.
Yep.
Bandies are maiden back to back.
But I tell you what,
And Bunker Hill right after that.
No, that's going to be a tough.
Bunker Hill's another team that could
Yeah.
be playing for that, I think, second
Yeah.
place. I think Maiden will win it.
second place wide open.
Yeah.
Second place is wide open. It really is. I mean, there's
So West Lincoln's first 3 conference games are Bandies, Maiden, and East Burke. Is that what you
No,
said?
Bunker Hill.
Bunker Hill.
Bunker Hill,
Bunker
yeah.
Hill. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Remind me to tell you guys something after the show.
What's
Lake
the big-
Norman High goes to Statesville. That is next Friday. I'm just going to scroll through here and see if any highlights because we only got about 3 minutes left. We always like
How
to
about
see.
Cleveland County? What's the big game there?
I didn't know you were such a big Cleveland County fan, Mike Powell.
Cleveland,
A.L.
Gaston,
Brown,
Lincoln.
A.L. Brown at Rocky River. Just some that stand out. That sounds like a really good matchup on paper, does it not? A.L. Brown and Rocky River. Ford lost its first 2 games 105-3. Rodney says so. Yes, West Lincoln will be heavily favored to move to 3-0.
What's the status of Caldwell
I'm still
County?
going to let you know. I miss East and West not playing each other.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I hate that.
Because that would be a heck of a game
yes,
this year.
I miss them not playing each other.
Not
Will
playing.
Caldwell County be
Oh.
back in action next week? Is this just a 1 week off thing?
Like Lanny said.
I was just looking
it's-
at Bandy's schedule,
it's
and they're
not-
scheduled to play.
I'm guessing that they told them. I don't know. I don't know what they told them.
South Caldwell. Well, actually,
I
that's
shouldn't
not
even
next
guess.
week. Bandy's is off next week,
Okay.
and then South
Well,
Caldwell.
surely they will be by then.
Yeah.
Alexander Central at AC Reynolds. That's a pretty good matchup right there.
Yeah.
A lot of AC going on there. Alexander Central. and
AC/DC.
AC Reynolds. Only Mike.
Still the best show band ever.
Weddington at home against West Forsyth. Did you hear that one? West
Yeah, Weddington,
Forsyth
West Forsyth,
at
that's a good
Weddington.
matchup.
Yeah,
Maiden
that's a big one.
Maiden at St. Stephen's, speaking of heavily favored,
Yeah.
going in. West Charlotte at Independence. West Charlotte will beat Independence, won't they? Cox Mill at Sun Valley. Wow, this thing just West Iredale at South Iredale. Got to think South is the. I just got a message in relation to East West not playing.
Yeah, I was going to want to bring that
Make a
up.
phone
Why
call.
aren't they playing?
East Wilkes at West Caldwell. So the Cardinal Gibbons at Richmond County.
Yeah.
Think about that one, Cardinal Gibbons. North Gaston at Chase. They got to like Chase a lot in that matchup. Owen at Albemarle. Orange at Cummings. Let's see here.
Now, here's my thought. If East Lincoln and West Lincoln like each other, then you play as a friendly rivalry. If you don't like each other, that's even more reason to play.
Yeah,
It's a-
it's every
a bitter
reason to
rivalry.
play.
David Lubowitz had the best tweet I'd seen quite some time prior to the Lincoln County Jamboree. Did you see what he said? He said, "Come out and see your favorite or least favorite Lincoln County team."
That's a good one.
at the Jamboree, whichever way. You got 2 reasons to want to come. Either you got a favorite or you got a least favorite. Most people's got one of each. In any county, as far as that goes, in any county. Blacksburg at Cherryville, Mike Powell. Blacksburg,
Oh, well,
crossing
now,
the border.
You think the Ironmen have a shot in that one? I don't know.
They're both 1-1.
Okay.
Forest View at Freedom. That's a weird, we got the battle of the ACs. We got the battle of the Fs.
Find out. Surely they haven't played before.
Oh!
What we got?
Crest at Shelby.
Oh.
You were looking for it.
I was looking for
There
the
you
big
go.
one. There it is.
Could Crest go to 0-2?
0-2.
Could Crest
Ooh.
go to 0-2? East Rowan at Salisbury. Hickory at Newton Conover. One of them's going to get their first win.
Yep.
Both teams have struggled a little bit out of the gate. Hendersonville at East Henderson. Mooresville at West Rowan. Lanny can't wait.
Lanny can't wait.
East
for that
Burke
one.
at Drone. Okay. Yeah.
It
Mitchell,
could be a last-minute substitute.
Mitchell
Lanny.
at Watauga. Speaking of Cleveland County, it's Cleveland County night. Kings Mountain at Burns.
Ooh.
Burns looking to go to 3-0, and I say they get it done.
Yeah.
North Georgia at Cherokee. Sounds like a college.
Mm-hmm.
Avery County at Hampton. There you go. Just some of the games that are going on next week. We appreciate everything. Appreciate our listeners and appreciate the input. For Mike Powell, Brett Keever.
Go for 2.
I'm David. Go for 2. That's the
Go
that's
for
the 3
2.
words, right?
Brett's new
That's going to be our
motto.
new shirts. We're going to get shirts.
We'll get Lanny to make up some
Go
shirts.
for 2. That'd be great. Go
I'm
for
serious,
2.
Lanny. Will you do it?
Go
for
for
2.
2.
Okay.
See you next week here on Sports Talk.